You're listening to Off the Deep End, where we discuss conspiracies, the people who love them, aliens, and a little spirituality. I'm your host, Emmy, and welcome to our show. And welcome to Off the Deep End. This evening, we are having yet another evening with Ivan Teller from ivanteller.com and his YouTube series, Ivan Teller. He's a master ET channeler and a channeler of basically everything else. Tonight, we're going to build up on our previous conversation about the space exploration program and the Martians. So without further ado, welcome, Ivan.
Hello there. Thanks for having me again.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, so the idea was to go on, continue the Mars project, you can say, this the secret space program.
Yeah.
And to connect to another being and give us another perspective.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So, okay, well, I'll connect, and I think we'll see who comes through. I think it's going to be a Syrian, so...
Yay!
So, yeah, it'll be a couple, about a minute or two for me to ground and
okay.
Through. So, all right, see you later.
Alrighty, see you soon. And once again, we are having another evening with Ivan Teller. He is currently grounding and connecting to the extraterrestrial Syrian, who will tell us more about the Martians and the secret space program.
Greetings. This is Redmond. Blessings.
Greetings, Redmond. Welcome to Off the Deep End.
Yes, thank you for having us. Well, it's not just me. The others within my ship at this time from the Syrian race are here to, connect with you and assist you to gather more knowledge on your Mars project at this time, at least our point of view. So whenever you're ready, we can begin.
Oh, I'm ready. Just let me have it.
One moment. Understand, yes, your Mars, in many ways, is like your sister planet. The agenda on Mars, once it was completed, moved on to Earth. But still, your elite still knew of its existence and still connected to it through the ET connections. Through your ancient times and now during your modern times, they've always been connected. Understand, yes, your elites are, yes, those at the top of your pyramid are part of an alien energy. So yes, but of course, it is still tough for some to connect with that, but yes, they are of an alien energy, and they are mostly friendly, even those that don't seem to be too friendly, for the most part, are. As for your Mars project, Mars is going to be used as an outpost, a place where they can go, your elites can go, just in case your planet no longer exists due to what they're doing, programming your world, as they call it.
Yeah.
There's another word for it, but as a programming of those programs, understand there's many programs on your planet. Your food program, your media program, your education program. They have different code names for this, but for the most part, that is what they call it. And if one of those goes bad, and they all collapse, most likely your whole Earth will collapse with it, is what they see. And they they do have a weather project also that does create hurricanes and intensifies
is it the HARP program?
Yes, correct. And then what they are sometimes in fear within your elites that might get out of hand one day. So this is why your Mars project is fully active. And there is, there are special forces. Of course, there's different versions of that. Do go to Mars. And they are already speaking about what they are doing on your internet to a certain extent. They do have some memories of it. Most of them do not have any memory. So in this, what is going on here? Yes, you're... Oh, yes. I'm connecting to... One moment. Yes, it's Elon Musk. Yes, that is a danger to them. Because they feel like he's going to go over... He's going to get in their business. They do not want anything to do with that.
And is this the elites or is this the Galactic Federation?
Yes, the elites.
Okay.
Well, the elites, the Galactic Federation of Light, yes. But mostly the elites, well, the Galactic Federation of Light they already see the future. They're already prepared, but yes, they do have a concern. But your elites do not want your Elon Musk getting in their way. As for your Jeff Bezos, he's a little bit more closer to them. He's been around for a much longer period of time. I believe you see that. And so he's made already a relationship with them, but still, they don't want him to cross the line either. But he has not done so yet. So he is still in negotiations of what he's allowed to do. But then Elon Musk seems to be pressing on for this Mars project, but now has been halted because of the recent explosion. What is done, yes, through extraterrestrials, and some of it is human intervention also that are not. It is a puzzle most likely they will never have the answer to, basically.
But that was mostly just to turn them around, right?
Yes, to stop them, yes.
Yeah, and it was friendly and nobody got hurt.
Yes, exactly. But also, understand there was a very expensive satellite on there, so that's another reason to keep the whole project in limbo, as your Earth would call it.
I see.
But as at this time, yes, your space program is what many are already connected to. As for, yes, there is many colonies on your Mars, much of it is underground. But there are wars, some with reptilians and human, yes, they're super soldiers, that happened often. Now, as for this agenda, nothing to worry about on your end. But as for the Earth project, we do see Earth eventually, your Earthlings understanding this more. Meaning, eventually we do see footage of this coming into your Earth knowledge. Eventually, many will not believe it though.
Oh, but it will end up in the media somehow, or just accessible via internet?
It will be, yes, your whistleblowers will start to bring this stuff out, because there is much video of it and it has not been brought out to your public. Of course, most of your public want to see it as fake as usual, but we do see that happening in the next couple of years as it becoming public, because there is much documentation underground and above the surface as for the interactions between reptilian and human also. Now that will be unlikely to be posted anytime soon, but there is a good chance of it going on your internet eventually. Most will not see it as real. As we can tell by the energies of your Earth is not ready to fully accept it either. But these things are concerned, yes, what's going on Mars. It is not a safe place. Aliens have to be careful of what they connect to. They have to keep their distance. It is not like Earth where we are allowed to come and go. Mars is under quarantine, is from what we are gathering at this time.
And why are they under quarantine?
This is by your Earth. Your Earth people have taken control of it as your elites. They call it theirs. If aliens get too close, they will be shot down. We are not allowed to be too much involved. We can keep our distance, we can scan it, we can analyze it, we can be there in holographic form, but we cannot. Only certain ones are allowed. The tall blonde Nordics are allowed, but those are part of your shadow. They call it your shadow government. They are allowed to be there. Other than that, foreigners it's off limits at this time. So this is where our concerns are. But yes, of course, as for your Earth connecting to Mars, it is not a safe place. But yes, it is not a safe place for us to connect with at this time. One moment. As for your... One moment. As for the Earth project, yes, there's yes. To give you some more insight, as for your moon, there is many projects on there. There's much reptilian energy, but also the Galactic Federation Light has many bases on that moon also. And yet your world is well protected. One moment. But your world is well protected at this time.
I understand there have been ETs found in the past on the moon.
Oh yes, definitely. much of it is reptilian, some are gray, but mostly reptilian at this time.
There was a lady that was found basically in a ship.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you tell me where she was from?
One moment. We see what we're gathering right now is from Sirius. Is what we're gathering. As for this lady, is from your planet or from another place?
We believe that she's from another planet. However, she looks very Japanese.
Yes, she is from Sirius, though. Yes, we are connecting with that correctly.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, she was nude and she had 6 fingers and a thing on her third eye.
Yes,
can you tell us why she was there?
One moment. At this time, it is not fully known. It is still being under wraps at this time, from what I'm gathering. It's not for us to connect with, from what I'm being told at this time. But what I can tell you is that your Earth is going to learn more about your moon projects, that is your secret space programs, as the more that will begin to leak out into your society before your Mars project is known. Would you see that? Yes, in a couple of years, yes. In the coming years, but more become known, but of course many would not believe it, and then your Mars information will start becoming more known to you. And of course, this is part of your ascension process. As you more know about your world, the more, because many will start to see themselves on Mars as super soldiers. I believe that's already happening, and that will increase because there's many on your planet that have other selves of them, other aspects of themselves, part of this project. One moment. One thing to give you more information as for your secret space program. Much of it is a gray project. It was started, yes, during your Eisenhower time period, where your government wished to explore the world, and your Greys brought much assistance to that. But in doing that, yes, there's some of them were malevolent. As for taking hold of your government and taking it hostage, that is very true. But
how
now
they
seem to have
that?
One moment. How they achieve that? One moment. Oh, by trickery, by giving your, yes, it is true that they were giving your society, your government more technology. I understand after the Roswell incident, you gave your Greys, malevolent Greys, and positive ones, but the malevolent ones took advantage of it and knew how the human race operates as for greed and used that to their advantage. So they gave your government more technology, and in doing so, they kind of captured your government, held it hostage to a certain degree, where the Greys have the advantage, and the reptilians, because they're working together, they have an advantage over your government, meaning that's why they keep your alien energies secret on your planet. This is another reason why there's no disclosure of aliens on their planet, because the Greys and the reptilians made a deal with your government. It will not be leaked out that they exist.
Oh yes, of course. I could totally see that.
So they made a deal with your government to keep it hush hush. And in doing so, but yet now they're using humans as for their guinea pigs, basically. This is what you call your New Mexico area. You are aware of this?
Is that White Sands, or is that the Dulce base?
Dulce, yes, Dulce. This is what started Dulce. White Sands, not so much. But mostly Dulce is there. This is what started your Dulce project. And in many of those that are in that facility are cloned beings that were tested by your Greys. So many humans that are there, some are human, some are clones that are doing operations there. As for cloning, there are some, at one time a Hillary Clinton version was done in Dulce, yes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of speculation that there's a Hillary Clinton clone walking around to just basically, do whatever she can't do, because apparently she's not feeling well. The clone appears here and there, but not very long. She's not staying in public for very long.
It is not working properly as from what we're gathering at this time. It has a lot of dysfunction at this moment. And she is not, understand, she is not aware of it. Her mind is erased from that. So
that's
understand.
interesting.
Yeah, she is not aware. So you can ask her all you want, she will not know. She could just call you crazy.
Oh, wow.
Understand your politicians are guinea pigs.
Yeah, guinea pigs and puppets.
Exactly. Isn't that what they are? In the long run, your Obama has many, and his minds are raised constantly. But he does remember some of it. Some of it they want him to. As for allowing fear, as for reptilian energy to leave fear into his eyes, at least he knows they exist. There was a time where he did see them, but most of it, I believe, has been erased from his mind. But he is aware that there is a presence there, and it does not care for him that much. That's mostly the reptilian energies. Those are the ones that run your government, but understand they're not walking around your White House, sitting around cooking donuts in your microwave or whatever it might be. That's not the case. But he does know there's a presence there, and it's not a very friendly one. Not to him, at least. He can be removed, but he is aware. But it's not something he talks about. It's not something that's in his daily briefings. Let's put it that way.
So I just wondered if there was any point. I know a lot of these. 1 second, I'm sorry. There's going to be a little interruption.
Yes, it is fine. Take your time. We understand.
Thank you.
What we can do right at this time, give you a little bit more feedback of what we know. One moment. I understand there is some slight interference, but for the most part, we are fine. One moment. As for what is going on in your Dulce, New Mexico, underground, that is still functioning at this time. Not as much as it used to be, but it's still well functioning. And yes, there are clones being created there daily. And these clones, some are politicians, some are from their black projects, your everyday human, are used for black projects as for suicide missions that they use in your space programs. So when they test out these flights, they use clones, so it does not matter if they do not come back, it's not a big deal. They send them to the Pleiades, even to Sirius, Alpha Centauri. That's a place that they are very careful at connecting with Alpha Centauri. That is a place they've already been warned not to go there, but they seem to go there anyway. But there are humans on other worlds, yes, but only done because it is welcomed by other species. They made a deal with other species, so it has been, yes, it's quite an unusual connection there, but there are humans on other planets, yes, at this time. Not many, though, that I'm aware of at this time.
So these clone beings, do they have like a soul or anything?
One moment. They do have a soul, but understand it's a young soul. It's a soul that's already aware of what it's going into. Understand that extraterrestrials are well aware of how to bring a soul into a body. So yes, some are robotic, and they even know how to control the soul as it enters. And the soul is aware of what it's getting into, just like you are aware into your experience. Understand, they realize it's not going to be a long experience either. And some of these clones are frozen, yes. As your Hillary Clinton, some are put into captivity for some time and brought out when they are needed. That does exist. That's science fiction, yes. But where do you think they get it from?
It's got to come from somewhere.
Exactly. And your humanity at this time is part of a program of mind control, which are called your media, your food system, your education system, and it is slowly unhinging from that, but it's finding very difficulties. And when it breaks out of this control system, it does go into a lot of negativity. I just see many fear-mongering conspiracy theorists, they don't know where to go. So they go into negativity, which is not exactly the best direction. So they are aware of your elites, but some of them do carry around a lot of negativity, but they don't know where to go with after realizing there is an elite on your planet and you are being sold a false truth. You can chime in.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. There is Can you tell me a little bit of? I don't know if you're picking up on this guy. I think his name is John Marshall or Randall Marshall or something. He was a person who was used, I guess, by the elites while he was sleeping. I guess they were able to clone his body or his being to be accessible in that pocket of the fourth dimension that the elites have, I guess, some control of. He said a lot about some very important people in full detail. He wrote something, put it on YouTube, called "The Most Important Thing You'll Ever Read on the Internet" or something. And he spoke about basically reptiles underground that the elites were feeding dead babies to. And I know there's this program where people from Thailand, or a program where the Thai are sending like babies that are dipped in gold leaf to the elites, and they're like, they eat the outer shell, and just a bunch of stuff like that. Or just celebrities being controlled.
Is this the same one that is part of your super soldier program, if I'm connecting to it correctly?
I'm not sure if he's part of the super soldier program. I think it's like the Illuminati music thing.
Yes, one moment. Yes, one moment. I have some connections to him. One moment. Yes, what he is saying is true. Yes, he is not gathering all full data. Yes, I do see. Yes, he is telling the truth. Yes, he doesn't have the full truth, but he has enough to terrify him. Yes, what he is saying is correct. Yes.
Oh yes, I imagine he doesn't have the full truth because he's only like part of like one aspect, and on top of that, he's like a victim of what's going on as well.
Yeah, so understand his incarnation was to bring this, as a whistleblower, to bring this information into your population. Even your elites are aware of this and allow him to do it. Understand they can remove him anytime they want. But they don't think most humans will believe him anyway. They want people to know what they are doing. It gives them a high. The more they think people know what they are doing, it excites them. Because most of them do not believe it. And when more humanity begins to understand it, they're not understanding the full control of your planet. They're only getting bits of it. Yes, they don't know how to deal with it either, so they go into a depression instead of understanding it fully. So they realize as more people know about them, they feel like they cannot do anything about the elites. That's not always the case, but in some regard that is true. But because your humanity is not aware of how to handle it yet, it is growing into that. As you go into more of a spiritual direction, you will have a more understanding of it, where you not have hate, not have anger, but have an understanding, but also have love and understanding that this is part of their process. Understand these elites are at a place where they feel like they can do anything, and they do. They take advantage of humanity all the time. They see humanity as a cattle, but they do see it as a smart cattle, but not always making the right decisions. So eventually when it starts making the right decisions, as for what planet they are on, as for the truth of their world, and how lucky they are to be in a world like this, because there are so many tests. Because it is expanding the consciousness of the soul more than any other world at this time. There are other worlds similar to this to a certain degree, but at this degree, to have this type of negativity on a soul, a pressure, as for pushing someone into, you can call it suicide, that's pressed on your society, is quite uniqueness. But also you can look into the positive or the negative. They realize many are still dragging into the negative because they don't understand their spiritual side. When humanity begins to connect more to its spiritual side, it becomes less depressed and more powerful. And this is what they are afraid of, but they realize humanity has a long time to connect with that. But yes, as this being is connecting to the fourth density energies, yes, that is true. That one you were speaking of, yes.
It's like they know we're smart, but they think we're cattle, but they do not make it easy for us, obviously, to wake up. I mean, there's, like you said, there's so many programs in place to make sure that we don't remember, like, for example, or don't realize things, or even rationalize ourselves into not believing the truth, or not trusting our own judgment.
Yes.
Like, you know, if someone was to listen to this, maybe they'd resonate, but then they brush it off and just say, well, that's just crazy.
And that's what they're hoping for, yes. Because the truth is, yes, you call it insane, yes, this is what yes, they make it very difficult to connect to them. They put boundaries around themselves. The secret space program's also involved, as for making it hard on you. Because they are creating technologies to make it more difficult for humanity to ascend. This is one of the major connections as for your secret space program, is to keep your humanity as blind as possible. Part of the program. There are different, they have different names for your programs, but at this time just call it the programs good enough. It's not truly. Eventually there'll be some that will be given messages on exactly what the names of these, but at this time it's not important. But as your humanity begins to, yes, unlock these programs, it will begin to fully heal. But yes, calling it rubbish and calling it science fiction, understand your elites laugh at your humanity during this because they know it's going to be so crazy that your humanity will be unable to connect to it. But yet it is programmed in your media, in your entertainment, of all signs that all these things exist. Your secret space program, their food program, mind control, all of this is already being siphoned to your society, but yes, your humanity brushes it off as fiction, not realizing how true it is happening to you. Well, it is like a science fiction movie. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, another thing that they do while they're introducing that information is they douse it up with fear.
Yes.
You know, so it's like even if people were open to the idea of seeing their ET friends, it's just like they'd be so afraid and worried because in all of our comic books and a lot of these old cartoons, you got this alien usually ravishing a young woman's body, and
yes,
you know, the man is like helpless, and you know, that kind of thing.
Yes, it's also, yes, at this time the programs are to take masculinity and to make it more feminine, so that way your male is too weak to conquer, to understand. But understand that's actually a much an advantage in some regard if you want to look at it that way, that you become more spiritual, you connect more to your spiritual self, which humanity is not truly ready for. But understand, as a male becomes more with the feminine energies, understand you can bring a balance to that, and that balance can take you to a more positive direction if you wish to connect with that. Understand many extraterrestrials have much female and male energies connected as a balance. And this is what's being introduced into your society, which will help you become more spiritual. The more masculinity is difficult to connect to your spiritual sides. The more feminine energy does add more of assistance and awareness to connect to your humanity, as to connect to your Mother Earth, your galaxies, etc. So it is helping. But also many are choosing to these incarnations as for having a male-female energy. And your females are also going through masculinity. They are having more masculine energy put into their body also, so they're having more of a balance, but it's up to them to balance that out, where you don't know your sexual identity and things of that sort. But that's helping you actually connect more to your extraterrestrial spiritual self, because there is a balance, but it's not quite understood. They only said yes, only heterosexual, and that is all. That is not true. It is all different sexualities. You can call yourself whatever you want, but your humanity is slowly going in that direction. But yes, the less negativity towards the elites, the better. Those that are known of these whistleblowers, as for your Illuminati knowledge and your conspiracy theories, they put a lot of anger. The less anger they have, the more self-love they have. That will bring your ascension even closer to humanity. But it finds it difficult to do that because it doesn't know how to react to your elites. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I understand that there was a lady, her name was Svali, if I'm pronouncing it correct. Back in, I want to say 1995 or 1996, she made a series of radio shows that eventually surfaced on YouTube. It's her pen name. It's called SVALI. And she, I guess, escaped or left the Illuminati. And she's kind of like underground now. I don't know if she's alive or anything, but she had a lot of information to talk about. She was an insider, and apparently she was one of the programmers or trainers. Like she was like
yes,
from birth
yes,
associated with the Illuminati.
Yes, it is true. Yes, your elites they test their children to heighten their abilities. They know how to make you and break you. They do that to your society, but most of your society is made to be broken. But yes, your Illuminati, yes, they're tested to the brink, yes. As for, I believe you're aware of this from different whistleblowers, yes, their morals are tested, let's put it that way. But they know how to take away your abilities once you get out of line. They want to control you as they do the rest of society. It is, yes, being part of the Illuminati is very, you can call it deadly. There is a positive and a negative, but they all have to go through this process of education. This education process is quite lethal to them. Some do go insane, some don't, some become what you call cross-dressers and things of that sort, because they do lose their identities very early, but they are very advanced also most of the time. And some do go into more of the narcissistic. As for serial killers, they do exist. Most of them do stay hidden within your headlines, where some are not found, and that some of those are your leads. Some of them are actually part of the projects they are working on, and they turn their project people into serial killers. It is to poison your humanity, basically.
I understand.
It is just a game for them. Yes, it's just a game for them. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I understand that there's a lot of just entire towns that are made up of people who are associated with the Illuminati.
Yes. The ones that are made public are more rural, like small towns. But there are upper scale towns, yes, that they don't know how to put their name on the wall, but yes, you have to figure it out on your own in that regard.
Or just entire towns of like people who are going to be used by the Illuminati for some purpose. Like for example, Newtown, Connecticut is one that registered. Yes, that is true. And also for the Illuminati, it's some way to know where they are is where things are very expensive, such as your New York City. You find a place where prices are very high, and that's usually where they are, such as your Switzerland, and I believe you can figure the rest out. Los Angeles, Miami.
Yes,
where I live, it's getting expensive.
Some of them are there, yes. More of the darker tones in your Miami, yes. And your Los Angeles, more of the narcissistic darker tones, yes.
I noticed in the music industry that a lot of the Illuminati symbology is surfacing into the Latin music culture. Like I see the prisms and the triangles and things like that.
Yes, they're doing that to let you know that they are in charge. They have to do this. It's part of their initiation. They have to let humanity know. This is why they're doing this. They're not doing it as for ego, but it's part of their religion to put that out there. As for your musicians, they are connected to it, but they are puppets in the game. They're not truly connected to it, but they know the individuals, but not personally. I do not believe so. But they are puppets.
So
they are puppets, though. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, and they're basically just kind of doing the work of the Illuminati. Yes,
exactly. They are just the workers, you could call it. Yes.
I want to dial it back to the masculine, I guess, confusing, kind of like becoming more feminine and things like that. I understand that there was kind of like something done to like the divine masculine, like I don't know when, it was like at the end of Atlantis to make them like less in touch with their feelings and like make it like more challenging for women. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, during your Atlantis, yes, you're speaking of when Atlantis was no longer in existence during that time of the masculine did take over, yes. Most of that is the Mars energies, yes. Other planets such as your Jupiter, Saturn assisted your humanity to lighten it up a little bit, but it became very masculine after that. Yes, it became very lost, and yes, and females received much of it also. Yes, you like to go, please, if you have something to add.
Yeah. So are we seeing kind of like the tail end of that now, where just things are lightening up for men, and they're just getting in touch with their like
Yes.
balancing out so they can be like a little bit more in their heart space.
Yes. More of the feminine energies, yes. It is not just, it is done genetically, yes, but also the souls that are coming in wish to connect to that. So yes, they alter themselves also. It's not just done by genetics. The soul is altering the being also. They wish to be a part of more of the feminine and the masculine instead of more masculine and very little feminine. That is over. It was much needed during your time in the past. Yes, but not any longer. It's been balancing out, but it's mostly masculine. Yes, at least for the male energies, though.
So, with regards to the Martians, and I want to talk about them a little bit more and the story of Atlantis.
Yes.
From what I understand, I guess when Atlantis was forming, there was like the Tree of Life, and there was like an empty space that was like a vortex, and I guess as Mars left their planet, that was supposedly, they demagnetized it or something like that. According to the story, they found that vortex of energy from Earth that was calling them in, and they just kind of like occupied it and just basically occupied that space, but they came in like conquerors and, you know, trying to call the shots, and basically from then on there was like that rift between like humans and Martians and stuff like that.
Yes, there was. I understand there's different timelines that others are picking up on. It's not to say there's any timeline that is wrong, but yes, they did come part of Atlantis during the middle time period of Atlantis, more closer to the end of Atlantis. Yeah, they did not help matters, as the Atlanteans were becoming very selfish during that time already, and the Martians increased that selfishness. As for world conquerors, it's like this is a place for us, definitely. And so yes, they mated with the humans. They did what your dark ages are doing. They did on your planet. But during your time at Atlantis, yes, it was not pretty at times. And your Romurians were affected by your Martians very much also. Many of the female Martians did learn much from the Lemurians and brought Lemuria to actually a higher place it's ever been. As for more of a higher dimensional being status, but as the lower vibrational Martians became involved, it did cause much disruption within Lemuria.
That's very interesting. So there was like two sides of the story there, you know, because the Martian is looked at as like negative, you know, but I guess, you know, there's positive, is positive and negative. It's not all bad.
Yes, it is all positive. It is not all negative. Not at all. They brought their information, their technologies, and their points of views, and it did give your world a different point of view quite much. Much of those Martian energies went into your Roman time period. Your Romans are very Martian.
Oh, I can see that.
Yes.
Yeah, and stylish too.
Oh yes, very stylish, and they took much from the Greek mythologies and made them their own. But yes, they enjoyed. Yes, yours. Julius Caesar is very much a Martian. You can call him. On Mars, he actually did have a place that was similar to that. As for being president, you can call it that, emperor. On Mars, he had that same position, but not like he had on your planet. It was actually more powerful there.
Oh, wow.
He was one of authority on Mars, yes. Go ahead, please.
Can you tell me if Cleopatra was Martian too?
That was just one moment. She was more Syrian Pleiadian. She had some Martian, yes, but mostly Syrian Pleiadian. Actually, Lemurian also. One moment. I want to say Andromeda, but she has many Andromedan lifetimes there. But as for Andromeda, she has some, yes.
I see. And I have a question for you. Were you, or an aspect of you, during the buildup of Egypt? Because I understand the Syrians helped a lot with the development of Egypt.
Yes, I had an aspect during that time period. Yes, I do not have many Earth human lifetimes. It was mostly during your time of Leonardo da Vinci where I had a lifetime. It was only one.
Oh, that's interesting.
As an architect, I was not here very long.
You have a book named after you.
Possibly, yes.
Do you have a comment on that?
Not at this time.
Okay. What about Isis? I mean, Ivan's channeled her before, but I was
Yes.
wondering if you had any relations to her. I feel like, I don't know,
The
kind of like a
Syrians?
strong
Yes.
connection to her. Maybe
Yes.
because I'm partially Syrian.
Yes, the Syrians, yes, we have a very strong connection with her. She has many aspects of her within our race at this time, yes.
That's very interesting. And does she exist there now? Well, yeah, you just said
Yes.
aspects, but
Yes. She still connects to her energies. She's still, yes, very much. You can call her in charge. You can, if you want to go there. Yeah, she is part of a female-dominated race. Yes, she is part of that.
like the Amazons. Amazons.
With much love, though, not barbarian, but yes, much love to others. Very much like your Lyrians, how there's more of a female in charge, but very equal. Other than that, the women call the shots, but they still see everyone as equal, though.
And in Sirius, would you say it's more balanced as far as the masculine and feminine energies?
Yes. Depends on what world you are on. But yes, depending on which world. It does. There are worlds that are similar to yours. Yes.
Huh. And with the Martians, would you say they're more masculine still,
Yes.
or they're balanced?
They are balancing. They were more masculine during their Martian lifetimes. As they came to Earth, they became more feminine, masculine. But they brought their masculinity to your planet and enforced it on your planet.
Oh, I see.
As you see Rome, as you see the end of Atlantis, even with your Atlantis, the way it went, it still could have lived after that. And it did in your Egypt. But did not last very long because of much of the negativity that overcame humanity. The greed, power, many of those things.
Spiritually speaking, I want to get your opinion. I somehow feel like part of the conquest of the Americas had to do like with Atlantis, and like there was like something in the conqueror's blood or thought
Yes.
processes that says we need to go out west and like maybe whatever's there we got to get rid of it or something like that.
Yes, they were aware of the Atlantis myth during then. It was known as myth, but they were aware of, understands many extraterrestrials that gave many messages of, yes, your continent of the United States. But they're aware there's much Atlantean energies and it must be removed for them to own it. And that's your American Indians.
Oh, I see. That's very interesting.
They knew right away they need to be taken out. That was the only way they can take over.
Is it because like there was a lot of history of Atlantis there? Because it was like, yes, the
Yes.
Native Americans, but they got to the Caribbean first, and then Central and South America.
Your Americas were already known throughout your Alaska. That was already known of your Americas, such as your Canada. It was already
By the
known.
Russians, right?
Yes.
Or the
Yes.
peoples of Russia.
Yes. Yes. It was just not made public, but yes, that is true.
And also the from Scandinavia as well, like the I want to say the Vikings were there first, right?
Yes, that is true. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people, I guess, confuse the founding fathers or the founding story to the story of the United States. To the story of the entire occupation of the continent versus just the story of the United States. Where there were like many founding fathers from the European
Yes.
continent and the area that is like Russia and other places like that.
Well, yes, they blended into the new United States that was brought into by your American founders over time. Yes, there's a much to go into that. I might not be the right one to go into full details of that. There are other beings that are better equipped for that. Actually, tall blondes are very more familiar with that than I have all the information. But one moment. There's one point I wanted to make. One moment. Oh yes, as for your discovery of America, much of that was propaganda because they already are aware of it through myth, through other. It was already unknown, but your Spain wished to take capture of it.
Yeah.
And that was propaganda. That was all it was. The Christopher Columbus is all propaganda.
I wonder if, and he ended up dying a poor man or something like that. But I understand that, what was I going to say? I just wonder, were the Spanish like very Anunnaki or something, and the Portuguese, were they like just very Anunnaki, and the Italians at that time? Because...
Yeah. Yes, they had much Anunnaki, but also your Africans had much Anunnaki energies.
I was wondering about that.
And of course your Arabs, they're very Anunnaki.
The reason why I asked that, because I guess Christopher Columbus's folks, when they came in and found America, yes. They basically made all of the native peoples like scour for gold. And I guess if they couldn't find any, they'd kill them. Like, yes. And the reason why I associate that with Anunnaki, because I guess that's the story that's been filtering through, that the Anunnaki really wanted gold all the time, and then they just put like humans to go find it for them or something.
Oh yes, they wanted to do the work, but it was much more than gold that one. There was other minerals, other crystals they wished to take over the entire planet to have it for their own. They knew that it wasn't capable of doing that, but they were still reaching for the stars, as you could say. But as for your founding of America, yes, much of it is also propaganda. As for your pilgrim situation, let's put it that way, because that is not exactly how it went.
I did read an excerpt from an article just talking about who the Puritans were and how they believed, I guess, that to make it pure, not just in acting like a pure person, just pure race. And so when they came into the Americas, these Puritans, they came in and they like basically try to wipe out the Native Americans. Yes. Is what they did, and just, I guess set places on fire and things like that. And that the Thanksgiving was really to give thanks, yes, and then to basically celebrate having had just killed out or wiped out a village.
Yes, understand your pilgrims were, yes, but there's others behind your pilgrims that wanted to be savages. There were very friendly people that came to your country, yes, in the beginning, but there's many savages that came and, yes, distorted the American story quite a bit, and they were doing most of your Indian killings. And of course your pilgrims got into it also because they had no choice.
Oh yes,
like kill or be killed.
I did read a story of, I don't know if his name is Tonto or something like that. He was, I guess he was adopted by pilgrims or something when he was a little boy, so he's kind of raised by them to a degree. And then, so he helped them, but then these other guys came around and just like started messing stuff up.
Yes, as you give you a little bit more detail as for your founding fathers, understand many positive extraterrestrials were involved with bringing your country together. Yes, it was, built on blood, yes, because of the Native Americans, but there was not much your positive extraterrestrials could do, because of course, but to assist, your angels of course were assisting this also, to bring your country unified, to connect it with your other states, to bring something new that your world's not used to, united, maybe not exactly the way they wanted to, but the best is what your world can connect to. As for, of course, they would see more peace, but that wasn't always the case. But your founding fathers had much assistance from the positive extraterrestrials. Some of them were walk-ins. As for aliens, as for your Declaration of Independence, all of that you had much help in a positive way to bring your country together. Yes, it has a ugly past, that is very true. I understand your negative elites had much to do with that, and also your man was very much controlled as it is today. As for what happened to your Indian race. At that time, that seemed like the right thing to do to make your Indians extinct. Go ahead, please.
Yes, it was very unfortunate. There was actually
Yes.
a time during, I think, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's presidency and then the Herbert Hoover administration, where they were putting like Japanese people in concentration camps, and then at the same time that they were putting all of these Native Americans on reservations, displacing them, and then 2 million or so Mexicans that occupied the country, not occupied the country, but were actually citizens, you know, because that was the agreement between the U.S. and Mexico when the U.S. annexed Mexico, that the native-looking people, not just the white-looking people, would be citizens. So at that time, only white people were considered citizens. So they basically rounded up a lot of Mexicans and sent them to Mexico, and then they call them aliens.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
And now you have a lot of Americans, quote unquote, Americans or Caucasian people who they obviously do not have any recollection of that because it's not really in our history. They don't teach it to the younger people.
No, that's all because you're teaching. Your education is propaganda education.
A lot of them want America back. When they say that, they mean that they want more of what, you know, they look like back. You know, and it's like, what part of America, which part of history are you reading?
Yes, your propaganda education was done, because of those that wish to have a control over your people, to keep your Mexicans in Mexico. But yes, they wanted to keep it mostly white, and all of that has a lot to do with your Nordics. This is why a lot of Nordic information will very much help as for your America founding. But to keep it white, yes, because your elites some of them are very racist, not all.
Yeah.
Is to show that the white man was more above the others, yes, which was not true. But you can say it was connected to your Nazi Germany is the beginning of that. The same thing was done in your country, basically.
That's very interesting that thank you for bringing it up, that swastika sign. Yes. I noticed that it's everywhere throughout history in different places, and it's not necessarily associated to Germans.
Yes.
There has been a lot of negative intentions around that. Can you explain to me what the power is behind the swastika?
Well, I understand the swastika had much positive energies. Much of that is Syrian, Palladian, but it's also to connect humanity with spirituality. And the way to use it for negativity is it has a hypnotism about it. It can be used for negative, and much of its power was used against its people as a way to show negativity and control over humanity. But it's also used to unite humanity, but in the way they were united was not exactly in a positive way, as you can tell.
Yes,
it is very extraterrestrial. It is very extraterrestrial. Yes.
Oh, really? Oh,
well, yes. Symbols, Arcturian symbols. Actually, that is very much an Arcturian symbol of united people. Yes. But in a positive way, not in a negative way. They just changed it to make it more negative. So
kind of like the pyramids.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Yes, exactly. That's why it's throughout your history. But yes, understand, just like your Bible, as the information has been skewed quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate how, I guess, the wrong intentions can make such a big impact on the world.
Yes, and understand your whole planet is under propaganda control. It is of, yes, the negative elites. As your planet becomes more aware, it will unlock much of this, but of course, most of your humanity will not believe it because you've been programmed so well since birth. It is hard to deprogram oneself, and when you deprogram oneself, you're called insane. That is the typical throughout your history. But we do see the sanity coming into your humanity, but yes, it is not something that will quickly happen. Because you've been indoctrinated. Yes, go ahead.
And I understand that there's been reports, not on the news, regular news, but just about, I guess, some government officials or agencies going after people who are awakening or just generally just sharing information on Facebook about what they know.
Oh, yes, and same as your American Indians. Notice how they
with
were.
the pipeline.
Yes. because they were connected to nature, spirits, and to those that are coming into your Americas from the Pilgrim direction,
yeah, they didn't understand that.
Yes, they had to remove that. Those that are aware knew they had to be removed, because you remember your pilgrims are more than happy to connect to your spiritual connections, but with the dark energies there, they made sure that that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But luckily, we're at the point we are at now, and hopefully things get better from here on out.
It is slow progress. You're allowed to know more about your humanity. The test of not knowing has been removed. Now the knowledge of everything is allowed to come into your humanity now, finally. It can now move up a grade, you could say.
So what can people like myself, like Ivan, like other people who are like awakened do to just kind of spread the word, or just, you know, kind of help people open their eyes a little bit more? What can we do?
Follow your passions. If it is not being as Ivan is, or as you are, as for the public eye, that is okay. Just follow your passions. What brings happiness to you? Understand your vibration connects to others, and it might inspire them to go more publicly about the message that they are receiving. So just because you're receiving messages does not mean you have to go public with it. Do not put yourself in a place where you feel uncomfortable. Be yourself. But the more higher vibration you are, it will spread to those that you know. If not, you not know them, it will go to others who do need it. So you're all interconnected. They will receive messages for you. Connect with everyone. You just don't remember it. So just be you. But if you must go into darkness, that is your choice. But if you wish to connect to more of a higher energies, yes. Raise your vibration. Learn more that you need to learn. Do not have to put yourself out in the public eye. Just be you. That's all that matters.
Yes, I forget that we're all connected, and that we can all pick up on each other's vibrations, that we're all one.
Yes, the more positive you are, the easier it is to connect. Of course, the negative you are, you can definitely connect that way also. But the more positive, it'll be much more beneficial for you as for your health and others' health.
That's good. Well, thank you very much, Redmond, for talking to me, and I hope that we get to talk to each other soon.
Yes, I would much love another communication with you. But yes, to give more of an information, yes, your Black Projects, your secret space program is setting an agenda for your planet. Yes, they are light years away in the future, yes. And they are setting the agenda. They are building new timelines. But it's up to you which timeline you wish to connect to, though. So.
Yes, I'm still learning about the timeline thing.
Yes, it is much to learn, yes.
I actually applied that towards the ban on kratom what the DEA had recently, and I was told that if you want to access the timeline where it's being banned, it will be banned. So I accessed the timeline where it's not, and then they lifted the ban.
Yes,
so,
exactly. Yes. So, yes, much love to you. Blessings.
Much love to you.
We will connect to you in the future time. Much love.
Thank you very much, Redmond. Much love.
Hello. All right.
Welcome back, Ivan.
Thank you.
That was very eye-opening.
Good. Good to hear.
We had a little bit of noise here, and I did not realize. We'll talk about that later. That'll be edited.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Ivan, for stopping by again and hanging out with us off the deep end. And we'll look forward to talking to you soon. But before we wrap up, can you tell my listeners where to find you?
Oh, yeah. You can find me at ivanteller.com. You can, that's the website. And there's a membership to join the webinars. We have 2 webinars a week. There's also private sessions. And you can go to YouTube and search Ivan Teller. You can find all daily videos that are posted. And then you can go on Google Play or iTunes and search Ivan Teller and download the phone app. So I'm everywhere.
Thank you so much, Ivan, and we look forward to speaking with you again. And thank you to my listeners for listening to yet another segment of Off the Deep End. Stay with us and visit us again on Tuesday when we will be interviewing a day, and we're going to be talking about